This is part 2 of my 4-part series on the People's GregTech Society. Remember to watch video 1 if you haven't watched it yet. We will now proceed with our scheduled programming. Project Townie was released on a Sunday evening at approximately 1 a.m. European time. Not a lot of people joined at the beginning because of the wonky scheduling. Project Townie was not going as well as we expected, mostly because the event took place in November instead of July. Many people were busy with school and couldn't really justify spending 10 hours a day on Minecraft, because Project Townie was not a good pack. It had a good idea, sure, but it was not tested well. The test server was basically a public beta test. Some mechanics were disabled completely. Some items did not exist. Some items were locked behind impossible research, and the developers had a hate boner against the PGS. We were a 30-person team going up against mostly solo players. It has gotten so bad that the only viable way of mining was the Little Tiles hammer, because Tinker's construct hammers were disabled. So Glees sent out an announcement saying this.
The PGS is in shambles. We are doing so many things wrong. Our base is being built up very slowly. I'm practically the only contributor, and we have no turrets or any other automated defenses. Our PvP team is very small. It basically consists of Kubel, and the insane lag makes fighting impossible. Barely anyone is online. Even in peak European time, there's only like up to 6 people online at a time. We are getting over by some random nobodies using vanilla gear.
This must change. We are the PGS. This is not very Greggy.
Only a small fraction of the PGS was playing on the server. The rest was just there to talk. Some people were solely focused on Minecraft, and weren't really active when there wasn't an event, like Kubal. However, Project Townie brought several new people to the PGS. I will not say why because you can watch the video I made on it 6 months ago. Please give me money. Anyways, through the Project Townie server, we met Sailor. Sailor is an incredibly skilled fighter, who has practiced his skill for several hundred hours on a server called High Dick Skycock. He may have been Kurdish, but his sleep schedule was global. You see, normal humans operate in a traditional 24-hour day. 16 hours awake, and 8 hours sleep. But Sailor did not need that. He could stay up for nearly 70 hours at a time with a simple method. By going up and down stairs several times, the human body thinks that it is day despite the fact that it is 3:35 a.m., and decides to stay up a few more hours. Then, repeat this process until you physically pass out after 97 hours of GTNH. He also introduced the PGS to a musical artist called Meteor, which upgraded the combat efficiency of PGS members by 41%. It is now December 2022. The server depicted in front of your visual receptors is GTC EU headquarters. One of the moderators there was called Circus. He was years old, and he was French. He liked banning people for little to no reason, mostly because he found them cringe. On December 14th, I was coming off of a long day of schoolwork, and I hopped on GTC EU. Me and another funny character, Szorov, started saying some not very funny jokes about Among Us. Circus really liked an user called Incandescence. They both had similar interests, like the famous Chinese comic series too. I said something that was quite unfunny, but I angered Circus, and got banned from the server even after being there for nearly 3 years. This was the beginning of the downfall of GTC EU. The GTC EU server, months later, has become the GregTech equivalent of Twitter. I felt that this was a betrayal, because I met most of my Minecraft friends through GTC EU. I advertised GTC EU on Reddit before and now on YouTube, giving it a massive reach at the beginning. However, another incident was about to occur. And this time, it involved the higher-ups in the PGS. The year was about to turn to 2023, and as a New Year's gift, we were about to find out the trolling side of Zalgo. The clock was about to turn to midnight, and then he posted this.
Amon chero raidelindo viecius, it's sunf nobatni bauk tialoa. 2023 Eimako, tidze benorescopo. Happy New Presidio, gonna bust a nut bait inside the German gear Conform 2.
Zalgo is a very interesting person in real life. He is a CERN scientist, sure, but he can also be quite unstable at times. He ingested several liters of suspicious substances and started going on about Stalin for 6 hours, all of this while being at a party in real life. It is time to shift our focus to the country of Turkey. In Turkey, we have a person called Noob Helios. Back in 2022, Helios was a pretty decent player. He built a good bit of our infrastructure in Nama Factory, and he also helped me grind for 10 hours to craft the flight rings. But around this time, he started thinking that he could be like Taliabi. The PGS chat was flooded with his lore that kind of made no sense. We were witnessing a schizophrenia meltdown in real time, so Glees tried to help Helios by telling him how to work out and feel better. To be fair, Glees was a little harsh while doing this, however Helios said no. Helios began an emergency meeting and called Zalgo to try and get rid of Glees. I replied that this wasn't going to work, because Glees was one of our best players overall and did pretty much all of the diplomatic work in Nama Factory. Also, Kubal, our best fighter, was the best friend of Glees, so removing Glees would also mean losing Kubal, which means losing the war, so Zalgo started convincing all the arbiters to get rid of Glees. To understand this part, we need to take a look at the PGS voting system. Removing a player requires a vote from all the arbiters, which were 8 at the time. 7. Excluding Glees, who couldn't vote on him getting kicked. Glees would be kicked only if 4 people said yes. But before starting a vote, Zalgo messaged all the other arbiters and told them several reasons on why they need to vote yes. He said that tons of people would leave if Glees was still in the server.
Go ask the other arbiters privately. Me, Blueberry and Pan Smith are for kick. Wait for the situation to calm down and then do it. When you do what needs to be done, let me know and keep an eye on Susie. Here, however, any measure will have to be extreme.
People just went along with it right now, but Zalgo's manipulative nature would come up time and time again. He did this entire thing in secret because Glees was an arbiter, and he wanted to do everything in secret without Glees seeing what happened. Zalgo must have really had something against Glees. He even set up another server, called PGS Unofficial, to invite all of the members if Glees did not get kicked. On this server, Pan Smith would be the owner, instead of me, which is quite weird, because Pan Smith hasn't done anything in about 5 months now. I also did not get invited to PGSU because some people found me unfunny. The PGSU server was then used to talk behind my back during these times. Every unfunny joke was relayed to the PGSU server. Brew, yes. Regin, no. Taliabi, no. Pan Smith, yes. Zalgo, yes. Beanie, no. Iglin, doesn't care. The vote to kick Glees ended up with a result of 4-3, so Glees got removed.